In Goldfields Open, the Shanghai Masters and the International Championship. With regard to the Players Tour Championship events, he's reached one last 32. He's well outside the top 25 in the order of merit who will make the grand finals. But of course, this event has provided his best win of the season, because he arrives here on the back of a 4-1 win over Mark Allen, the World Open champion. Steadman beat Phil Barnes in the first round 4-3, then overcame Allen, and now he's trying to continue his giant-killing exploits against Higgins. These two have met on only one previous occasion. It was in the first European Players Tour Championship event of the season, back in August, and it was in the last 64. One round earlier than this, Higgins prevailed 4-1. Higgins so far today, well, he beat a Bulgarian amateur in the first round, Georgi Velichkov, as you would expect, 4-0. And then overcame Barry Pinch's 4-1. Now, what might be significant is that both of those games were played on this table, so he's well used to it, whereas Steadman hasn't played on the main table yet. Steadman no doubt delighted with this win over Mark Allen. He made breaks of 41 and 31 in the first frame, 64 in the second to lead 2-0. Allen won the third. But Steadman comfortably won the fourth and the fifth, adding runs of 35, 45 and 34. So congratulations for that result. Caught the red far too thin, in and out of balk, back down past the middle pocket. But has he left anything? Well, the answer is no. Well, Steadman got away with his previous safety misjudgment. Not this time. Mind you, we know that this table isn't the most responsive when players are screwing back, or indeed coming off cushions. And so, although the red from mid-range here for John Higgins seems inviting, and it is, position from it is by no means certain.
One.
Now, the way he played that tells us that the black will pot to this top left-hand pocket. Doesn't seem possible, does it? But clearly there's a gap there.
John Higgins. One.
And it was a wide gap. Bad miss.
One.
Now, live scoring on the Neil Robertson-Ryan Corsten match is just beamed up into life, and I can tell you, there I was saying it hadn't begun. Well, it has. Robertson won the first frame, and it looks like he's going to win the second as well. They are still well behind, mind you.
Eight.
Peter Ebden and Ben Wollaston have just gone 3-3. Ebden was 3-2 down, he's just won frame 6. And remember, Ebden, in round 1, came back from 3-0 down to beat Stuart Bingham 4-3.
9.
Ricky Walden has won the 4th frame against Gary Wilson. Wilson still leading 3-1, mind you. And Anthony Hamilton, he leads Michael Holt 2-0. Extra spice in that match because, of course, those two players are both from the city of Nottingham in the English Midlands. Well played shot that from Steadman, swinging the cue ball round off 3 cushions.
Greg Steadman, 13.
That, though, was not well played.
Foul.
Well, doesn't matter how many world titles you've won, you can't legislate for that kind of thing. Just flicking the pink in off. Unlucky. Now from Steadman, that was not recommended, apart from the fact he's missed the red and left it. The cue ball has gone into blue and black, opened them both up. So this is a good scoring chance for Higgins if he can knock in the initial red.
One.
Always reminds me,
7.
certainly from a distance, Craig Steadman, of Andy Hicks, former world, UK and Masters semi-finalist.
Eight.
The red on the immediate right-hand side of the pink, not helping matters. Having to screw back for blue or black. And screwing back on this table requires timing.
12.
Timed it a little too well. Cue ball closer to the side cushion than he wanted it to be. And as a result, this is missable. Especially at that quiet positional pace. Well done, John Higgins.
17. 18.
If he wins this particular contest, Higgins, it will be 10 consecutive matches in Players Tour Championship events he's won, because he put together a sequence of 7 victories
24.
in winning the PTC at Gloucester on Wednesday. And now this would be his 3rd win of the day here. Well, a smattering of applause, but a little betwixt in between. Yes, the red will parts across the top cushion, but at any kind of pace, it's a really tough one. And of course he needs to put pace into it for position. Hence the choice from Higgins to take on the tougher part. But the shot that he knew, barring a back kiss, and that was a good one, would enable him to continue the break. Now that's worked out a treat.
33.
Still though, I think the frame will revolve around whether Higgins can pot the last red across the top cushion. It's easily missable.
34.
Especially if he's dropped straight on the pink. Doesn't want that. So not even trying the last red to pot it anyway.
40.
Content on placing Steadman in a heap of trouble.
John Higgins. 40.
Or at least trying to. Now, is there a gap there between pink and blue? Well, there was a wide gap. He made a pretty full ball contact with the red. Steadman lucky it's finished there. Otherwise, a shot to nothing would have been on. World number 85, Craig Steadman. So when you're that far down the rankings, every match you can win improves your standing. Well, there's enough pace in the cue ball. Well done. You suspect, though, he's going to be back in trouble after this. Given the position of the balls, you would assume whoever makes the mistake or does something inspirational on the last red will win the frame. Not bad from Higgins, but no snooker. And this time it's Steadman who's been left with a shot to nothing. That's the term we use when someone can go for a pot from distance, knowing full well that he's going to get the cue ball safe anyway. Well, I said, didn't I? Either the first mistake or the first slice of inspiration on the last red could decide it, and that was the latter. Superb pot. Higgins now 10 points in front, and so from here, yellow, green and brown will leave Steadman requiring a snooker.
6. Nine.
The blue, just to be safe, and Higgins will draw first blood.
John Higgins, 18 and the frame.
Well, by his standards, John Higgins isn't playing brilliantly well, but he's playing well enough. Really good last red, clearance to blue, just like that. The Scot leads Craig Steadman 1-0. 3 more frames required for a place in the last 16 here at the Princess Hotel tomorrow. So what about the other matches in progress? Well, Jamie Jones and Marcus Campbell, who's a good friend of John Higgins, they're locked together at 1-1. Campbell's going not too good in frame number 3, though. Looks as though Jones is going to take it for a 2-1 lead. Not quite there yet, mind you. On table 4, Liang Wenbo and Ken Doherty are involved in their first frame. On table 6, Ben Wollaston and Peter Ebden, they're involved in their deciding frame. And I can tell you Wollaston is on a break of 47 at the moment. But no one will be writing off Peter Ebden. If you do that, you're foolish. It's Gary Wilson 3, Ricky Walden 1. Nothing much to choose between them in frame 5. Wilson led 3-0 in that match. And it's still 2-0 for Anthony Hamilton over Michael Holt. One other scoreline to give you. Neil Robertson now leads Ryan Corsten very quickly, 3-0. That's a second round match. And that from John Higgins is totally uncharacteristic. The pot itself was quite simple, but weaving the cue ball through all of the gaps in and around the reds for position on the blue, certainly not simple.
Six. Seven.
I told you that Craig Steadman beat Mark Allen 4-1 in the previous round here today. Well, just looking at some of his PTC results from earlier in the season, he's run a couple of big names close, losing 4-3 to Ali Carter and also to Martin Gould. Well, he went into the pack forcefully, but that's one of the byproducts of a table that isn't
20.
The most lively. It's tougher to break the pack up than it might otherwise be. The red was always going towards the near jaw. It was one of those shots that was borderline. Just about okay.
$28. 29.
Clipping the red over a middle pocket was very much to Steadman's benefit. Leaving the cue ball in this vicinity of the table, though, quite close to the cushion, puts pressure on this. Oh, and he missed it by a mile. That's the second time into that pocket he's had a pot that he's absolutely butchered. Let me quickly tell you that Ben Wollaston has beaten Peter Ebden 4-3.
1.
And so Wollaston advances to play Mark Williams, who you might have seen in our last match here on this main match table defeat Mark Joyce 4-1.
Three. Four.
I was commentating on John Higgins the other evening, 2 days ago actually, at Spennymoor in the northeast of England, in a Premier League fixture against Peter Ebden. He lost, but didn't really matter for Higgins because he'd already qualified for the semi-finals of that tournament. And my co-commentator Willie Thorne asked me whether I regarded John Higgins as one of the all-time greats, and of course the answer was very much yes. Good guy as well. He's won 25 world ranking titles, third on the all-time list.
16.
Only Stephen Hendry with 36 and Steve Davis with 28 have won more.
$17.
Now 37 years of age, and it's around this time
23.
that a player's skills, certainly effectiveness,
24.
start to show signs of erosion. Mind you, that said, earlier this year at the China Open, Peter Ebden captured the title at the age of 42.
31. 32.
8 in front, Higgins, 3 open reds. Even if he pots them with high value colours, he will still need the awkward red on the left hand side cushion.
$38.
That's why he took the risk trying to dislodge the red. Thought that even if he missed it, he would still
45.
obtain position on the one to the right hand side of the pink, and didn't do so. Snookered on 2 of the 3 reds left on the table, and the one he can see isn't ideally placed for a safety shot. Had to think about that one. Execution, excellent.
Higgins, 45.
Now that was a cracking pot from Steadman.
1.
Very good indeed. Will it lead to big things?
$8. Nine.
With all of the colours on their spots, the one remaining red in the open, Steadman should win the frame from here. He really should.
16.
That, though, inexcusable. Massive area of the table to drop onto. No need to be there. Made sense to play up for a ball colour. Of course it did, because position on the yellow, a lot easier. But that was poor.
Greg Steadman.
17.
Now for Higgins here, making contact with the yellow shouldn't be too much of an issue. Making contact and leaving it safe, different kettle of fish. Well, the yellow has been left, but it's quite a thin clip. Steadman should pot it, and he has. But what about position on the green? Well, it's worked out a treat.
Five.
Thunder's in the green, looks at the scoreboard, he's 6 in front, so just brown and blue needed.
Nine. Fourteen. 20 and the frame. Craig Steadman.
Craig Steadman will be feeling an awful lot better about that one. He's back on level terms. He's 82 places lower in the world rankings than his opponent. But of course, in these best of 7 frame matches in PTC events, anything can happen. He beat Mark Allen in the previous round. What about claiming the scalp of John Higgins in this one? Well, 2 frames in the books. They have been shared. Plenty of other snooker going on around this arena today. A mixture of second and third round matches at the moment. I can tell you Jamie Cope defeated Cao Yupeng 4-2. As for matches in progress, well, Jamie Jones leads Marcus Campbell 2-1. Ken Doherty has taken the first frame against Liang Wenbo. Liang, of course, who beat Sean Murphy in the previous round. Neil Robertson still 3-0 up on Ryan Corsten. Gary Wilson has just completed a 4-1 win over Ricky Walden. Walden's recent lack of form shining through.
Third frame.
And Anthony Hamilton, in the all-Nottingham battle against Michael Holt, leads 3-0. So as it stands, just 3 second-round matches to be completed. Jones-Campbell, Hamilton-Holt, Robertson-Corston. In this bottom half of the draw, the last 32, it's Higgins against Steadman, of course. Doherty against Liang Wenbo. Alfie Burton taking on Lee Yan. Rory McLeod faces Gary Wilson. Ali Carter taking on Jamie Cope. Mark Williams will play Ben Wollaston. Hugh DeLue faces Jamie Jones or Marcus Campbell. Holt or Hamilton plays Corston or Robertson. Needs the cue ball to stop, does Craig Steadman. Is the brown blocking Higgins' path to the red close to the pocket? Yes, it is. Now with the red over a pocket like this, yes, I'm not surprised. It's going to be a re-rack. Both players agree they're going nowhere. And when it's a tactical stalemate such as that, why not start the frame all over again? I think John Higgins asked the question. Craig Steadman more than pleased to have frame 3, take 2. While the referee's just replacing the balls, let me tell you, Ryan Corston has won a frame on table 5 against Neil Robertson. Robertson still in front, though, at 3-1.
Third frame, John Higgins to break.
And it's looking really good for Anthony Hamilton against Michael Holt. Hamilton leads 3-0, and by 39 points to 0 in frame 4, on a run of 29. Not a pretty start to the frame here. Blue and green close to a cushion, although blue is also close to a pocket, in fairness. Another good pot from Steadman. So far, acquitting himself well.
Six.
well, purposely tried to
Six.
split the reds in playing safe. The rationale behind that is that if he played a good safety shot, obviously he would have more of a chance to build a break if Higgins then made a mistake. But he left Higgins a red. The Scot unable to stroke it in, going through a sticky patch. Well, Steadman looking at the red there to clip it into this top left-hand pocket. He's not quite sure whether it will actually go. And if you get down on the shot and there's any grain of doubt in your mind, it increases the chances of the ball being missed. Went easily.
One. Five. Great Steadman.
Play that with a touch of running side. Undercut it. Chance gone. Glorious chance gone. Just when you thought he was in to maybe put Higgins under a touch of pressure.
One.
One more score update for you on table 2. Jamie Jones now leads Marcus Campbell 3-1 in their second round match.
Eight. Nine. 16. 17.
Just a tad more pace on the cue ball than he wanted there. Now though, it's worked in his favour. Able to go into the reds
24.
quite healthily.
Twenty-five. Twenty-seven. 28.
Pink and blue blocking each other to a large extent. And so Higgins zoning back in on the black.
35. 36. 43. 44.
Now then, not only is he out of position, or ideal position, a red has gone over a middle pocket. Excellent part from John Higgins, wasn't it? Excellent. Should be a frame winner.
$47.
Breaks of 40 and 45 in the first two frames from Higgins. This is first half century of the contest.
$52.
So he's 41 ahead. The black would make that 48. One more red in colour. Home and dry.
$59.
Well, how about that? Miscue, and he still potted it. Would have been a foul shot, of course, had the cue ball jumped over the red, but it didn't. Higgins 49 ahead, 51 on the table. So if he pots the yellow, he'll still need one more red to leave Steadman requiring snookers.
$62. John Higgins, 62.
And even though there's a red on both side cushions, a ray of hope for the underdog.
One.
If Steadman can pot three reds, three blacks and all the colours, it would mean a respotted black, because the scores would be tied.
Eight. Greg Steadman, 8.
This frame not over yet, but the fourth frame between Michael Holt and Anthony Hamilton is, and Holt's won it, so he's not going to be whitewashed at the least. Hamilton 3-1 ahead. Now if the red goes past the yellow to the middle pocket, and I fully expect it will, this could be end of frame. It is.
1. Round ball. John Higgins, 1.
Granite taking absolutely no liberties. Steadman 44 behind, 35 on, 3 snookers needed. And Steadman is clinging on to the hope that if he does get one successful snooker, if he could possibly get a free ball out of it, the frame is still recoverable. Highly unlikely. And this should now guarantee Higgins' 2-1 lead.
One. Seven. John Higgins, 7 and 4.
This time Steadman concedes. Well, Higgins was in front at 1-0. He's back in front at 2-1. Both players leaving the arena. Now that gives me an opportunity to get you right up to date with how things stand. On table 2, Jamie Jones from Wales leads Scotland's Marcus Campbell 3-1. Campbell, though, in charge of frame 5 on a break of 61, leading by 62 points to 0. Ken Doherty on table 4 has taken a 2-0 lead over Liang Wenbo. On table 5, it was 3-0 for Neil Robertson over Ryan Corsten in their second round match. It's now 3-1. 2 reds left on the table in frame 5. The frame up for grabs. Third round matches have begun on table 6 and table 9. Ali Carter against Jamie Cope. Mark Williams against Ben Wollaston. Just a single red potted in both of those matches so far. And Michael Holt trails Anthony Hamilton 3-1. That's a second round match as well. Hamilton or Holt will play Robertson or Corsten in a third round match that's still to go on. So bear in mind it's 8:30 local time here in Sofia, Bulgaria. For 2 of those 4 players I've just mentioned, it could be a late night. Now 8 players already through to the last 16 from yesterday in the top half of the draw. Jack Lazowski came back from 3-1 down to beat Mark Selby 4-3. Lazowski now plays Tom Ford, who made a 1-4-7 break in overcoming Matthew Stevens 4-1. Ford has now made 2 1-4-7s in his professional career in competition. Other matches in the last 16 tomorrow morning. Thepchai Anu from Thailand taking on Mark Davis. The veteran Dave Harold up against Judd Trump. A quintessential clash of styles, that. And Andrew Higginson, former Welsh Open runner-up, he plays a young Scottish talent, Anthony McGill. If you're wondering about when we start out tomorrow, well, it's 9 o'clock Central European time in the morning. That's 8 o'clock UK time, 10 o'clock here in Bulgaria. And on liveworldsnooker.tv we have one match for you in the last 16, a quarter-final, one of the semi-finals, and then it's 6 o'clock tomorrow night UK time, 7 o'clock Central European, 8 o'clock local, it's the final. All matches right through until the title match, the best of 7 frames, as is always the case in Players Tour Championship events. Craig Steadman, this is his second go around on the professional circuit, also qualified in 2009. He was runner-up in the European Amateur Championship in 2008, quarter-finalist in the World Amateur Championship in 2006. His best performance in a major world ranking event, one that carries full points, came earlier this year when he got to the last 32 of the German Masters as a wild card. Good pot from Higgins, and it appears as though he's got a very nice angle indeed on the black. Takes some potting though, they always do across this top cushion.
Eight.
Now Craig Steadman being very honest here, he said he didn't touch the red with his safety shot. The referee didn't call the penalty, although we identified it here, so there should be 4 extra points on his side of the scoreboard. Higgins, that is. It should be 12-0. Here we are, no contact made. So the score should read John Higgins 12, there it is, Craig Steadman 0.
One. Green ball. Quick settlement, 1.
Now the intention there from Steadman was to leave the cue ball directly over the green in a Chinese snooker, which would have caused Higgins a heap of trouble. He's not fully with it. It was also the case when he played Barry Pinches in the previous round. He made breaks of 37, 87, 47 and 44, but at no point Did you feel as though Higgins was right at the top of his game? To be honest, even though he won a Players Tour Championship event on Wednesday in Gloucester, back in England, he didn't look on the top of his game there either.
One.
Well, applause from the crowd, but that was misplaced. Okay, he knocked the red in, but no position at all. I can confirm, by the way, that Marcus Campbell won frame 5 from Jamie Jones. So Jones leading 3-2 there. That's a second round match. And that's also the case for Anthony Hamilton against Michael Holt. 3-1 to Hamilton.
Greg Steadman, 1.
The only other second round match still going. Neil Robertson 3, Ryan Corsten 1. Well, Steadman's safety again was off the mark, slack, and yet he's not been punished for it. In fact, indirectly, he's benefited. Higgins struggling.
One.
Looking rather glum, isn't he, the 4 times world champion? Not happy with his performance level. And to be fair, you can understand why. Well below the norm.
6. Seven.
When he won that PTC event in Gloucester on Wednesday, well, it was a 3-day tournament, he actually won 4 consecutive matches, 4-3. Last 32, last 16, quarter-final and semi-final, before raising his game somewhat to overcome Judd Trump 4-2 in the final. Not been tested so far here, winning his
14.
first 2 matches today, 4-0 and 4-1. Maybe Steadman, though, can push him closer.
Fifteen. 22. 23.
Now that was well played. Use of side to hold for the blue.
Twenty-eight.
How many times do you see it from these lower ranked players? They get in and then miss a ball they shouldn't do. He's done it 3 or 4 times in this match. The one positive for Steadman, he's left nothing on. If you can say anything positive about that particular attempt. Result for you on table 5. Neil Robertson has beaten Ryan Corsten 4-1. So Robertson now awaits either Anthony Hamilton or Michael Holt in round 3. It looked like being Hamilton all the way there, 3-0 up. But Michael Holt on the verge of making it 3-2.
One.
Now, if it wasn't for the black being so close to that one particular red towards the top cushion, this wouldn't be a bad configuration of the balls.
7.
It's got promise.
8.
Now then, it was promising.
13.
It's suddenly become a very good chance. Higgins 2-1 ahead in frames.
20.
It's the front in the 4th.
$21.
Dead straight, the pink was. Higgins played a beautiful stun run through shot.
27.
Textbook.
$28.
Now a pretty similar situation to what happened in frame number 2. One awkward red on the side cushion. Higgins will require it, although this time the red in question is a little less awkward than it was in frame 2 when Higgins had to dislodge it.
36.
Higgins 25 points ahead, so red-black would take him 33 in front with 35 on.
44.
Now wanted to be straighter on the black here to leave the cue ball closer to the red. Shouldn't be a problem though, because he doesn't have to play any kind of extravagant positional shot. The red would be enough to leave Steadman requiring a couple of snookers. Can you believe he missed it? Can you believe it? Well, the yellow's awkward and so is the green. Even so, Higgins disgusted.
1.
I think he was sensible there, Steadman. No positional ambition at all.
8.
Just knocking in the black, which he had to do. 25 behind, but 27 on. The ability there to play a pretty good safety shot,
8.
which I'm afraid he hasn't done. Now what you might find here with Higgins, he'll try and chip the yellow onto the green, bring the cue ball down here, and more than likely Steadman will find himself snookered. Well, he's gone the other way. He took the yellow close to a pocket, but the blue helping Higgins tremendously. He did well there, Steadman, hence the tap on the table from Higgins, but the yellow pots, and if John can knock it in, he'll be 27 in front with 25 on. Steadman needs one snooker.
2. John Higgins, 2.
Well done. Now Higgins by no means guaranteed to make contact here. He made that look much easier than it actually was. Valiant effort. Oh, superb pot from John, that really was. The last thing he wanted to do there was leave the green, because Steadman would probably have potted the green in the brown, trying to get the snooker off the blue in behind the pink. Now, though, there is no doubt it's going to be 3-1 Higgins.
Twelve. 18 and the frame, John Higgins.
John Higgins today has played 13 frames so far. He's won 11 of them. He's not playing anywhere near his best. That's an indication of A, the level of opposition, and also the fact that he's capable of winning when he's having to use his B game. So Higgins, one frame away from a place in the last 16 here tomorrow. Around the other tables, Jamie Jones in a second round match against Marcus Campbell. Jones leading 3-2. On table 3, in a third round match, it's Lee Yan 2-1 up on Alfie Burden, but it was 2-0. Liang Wenbo has just pulled one back against Ken Doherty, the 1997 world champion from Dublin, leading 2-1. Jamie Cope has taken the opening frame against Ali Carter. In the first frame of Gary Wilson, Rory McLeod, Wilson leads by 34 points to 16. I can tell you on table 9, Ben Wollaston took the opener against Mark Williams, but he needs a snooker with one red left in the second frame. And still they battle on in the second round. Anthony Hamilton and Michael Holt. It was 3-0 Hamilton, it's now 3-2. Higgins will be looking to finish this one off as quickly as he possibly can. Have an early night and come out refreshed tomorrow. Well, not for the first time in the match. Steadman pots an absolutely cracking red.
Eight. 9. 16. 17.
Well, I don't know what the applause is for there. It was a
23.
A pretty routine ping to middle. And position has been partially lost. Maybe the applause is for another table. I can tell you, after being well behind, Ben Wollaston has just won the Second frame against Mark Williams on the black. Wollaston 2, Williams 0. Now in frame 3 we had some cat and mouse tip-tapping around the pack, but there won't be a re-rack here. There's no way Steadman will stand for that with a 23-point lead. And Higgins wasn't prepared to continue the stalemate anyway. Well, there was no real stalemate because it hadn't really begun. Some of Steadman's potting from distance has been very impressive, one has to say.
Blue ball.
That's been the problem, though.
Greg Steadman, 1.
When he's got himself in, not been able to capitalise. OK, the blue wasn't the easiest pot, but it didn't really threaten the pocket.
1.
And now, if Higgins were in tip-top form, which he isn't, you'd fancy him to be in to win here.
Eight. 9.
The black goes, but with the cue ball glued to the side cushion. Boy, is this tough. Superb. Absolutely great cueing. Now, no one clapped that at all. That was perhaps the best shot of the match so far for me.
16.
More good cueing required here, though.
Seventeen. 23. 24.
'Level board. Higgins would like to be able to pop the pink to the middle pocket because position from the pink a whole lot more simple than from the black, which is pretty straight. Doesn't afford him many options. Yes, he was trying to pinch the pocket there to avoid hitting the red and the blue, and he missed the pot. He missed the pot as a consequence of that. He's just not quite there. Okay, he's winning frames and matches, but he's not with it, and he knows it.
One. 7. 8.
Well, again, one has to regard this as a chance to pull a frame back.
$14. 15.
I can tell you on table 2, Jamie Jones and Marcus Campbell, one of only 2 second round matches still going. That's 3-3 now. Jones led 3-1, Campbell has fought back.
$21.
Oh, again, another simple red goes astray. How many times have we seen that from Steadman into that particular pocket? He's missed 4 or 5 straightforward balls to that target.
One.
Nothing straightforward here for Higgins. One awkward red on the right-hand side cushion towards Bulk. He'll try and pot the blue here and split up the 2 on this top cushion. Worked out pretty well.
Six. 7. $14.
Initially pots the blue, chips out a red. Now pots the black, chips out another.
15.
Well, I'm loath to say he's in to win again because he's looked a little shaky in the match at times, but this is a really good opportunity. And there you see, Mr. Black off the spot.
Higgins.
Can you believe it? He's just not right. That's why I didn't have any confidence in him doing it.
One.
Well, this is on a plate now for Steadman. 7 in front. The blue will make it 12. So just yellow, green and brown in addition.
Six. Eight. $11.
He's made some bad mistakes in this match, Steadman, but he's not going to miss the brown.
15. 20. Break Steadman, 20 and the frame.
John Higgins was given two glorious chances to win the frame and to win the match 4-1. He wasted them both, and the way snooker goes sometimes, the balls don't forgive you. We'll find out whether that's the case going forward. As it is, Higgins now only 3-2 ahead, still needing one more to go into the last 16 of this Bulgarian Open here in Sofia. Now, Neil Robertson, who hasn't begun his last 32 match yet, at least knows his opposition. It's going to be Anthony Hamilton, who a few moments ago beat Michael Holt 4-2. Other scores, well, Jamie Jones and Marcus Campbell in the last second round match to be decided. It's the decider. Jones at the table on a break of 14, leading by 20 points to 0. All the rest of the matches I'm going to tell you about are third round, last 32. Lee Yan leads Alfie Burden 2-1. Ken Doherty 2-1 up on Liang Wenbo. Nothing to choose between them in frame number 4. It's on the blue, on a knife edge. Jamie Cope has taken a 2-0 lead over Ali Carter. It's still the first frame between Gary Wilson and Rory McLeod. And Ben Wollaston leads Mark Williams 2-0. The winner of Higgins and Steadman plays Doherty or Liang Wenbo tomorrow in the last 16. Lee Yan or Alfie Burden plays Rory McLeod or Gary Wilson. Carter or Cope plays Williams or Wollaston. And the winner of Jamie Jones against Marcus Campbell will go forward to play Hugh DeLue. And the winner of that will play either Robertson or Hamilton. Now, the loss of the previous frame for John Higgins was a source of irritation. If he were to lose the next one, I think it would be a source of concern, because he knows he should have been shaking hands. Match over. Job done for the day. As it is, more balls need to be potted.
Frame 6. Break Steadman to break.
The break-off in snooker, not exactly like the serve in tennis, doesn't give you that much of an advantage. But if you can play a good safety to start off the frame, your opponent can be on the back foot straight away. Good break from Steadman. The only thing left for Higgins was to play a containing shot, and he has left a possible pot to middle. Well done.
8. 9.
Hasn't Craig Steadman missed some easy balls? Pots he would never miss in practice. Higgins played for the blue there, overran it slightly.
Yellow ball.
Now that was better.
3.
Stop the cue ball where the red is now. Knock the red in. You'll have a lovely angle on the blue to go into the pink and spread the reds far and wide.
4.
And that's precisely what he's done.
9.
Didn't quite catch the pink full ball, but it's okay.
10.
And the pink going over the right-hand middle pocket made that shot an awful lot easier, the positional aspect of it. Now he threw away 2 great chances to win in the previous frame. What about this one?
$16. 17.
Found the gap between yellow and brown as he intended.
22.
But he didn't intend to finish there. His path blocked to both reds. Galling.
John Higgins, 22.
Over on table 9, it's looking really good for Ben Wollaston. He's now 3-0 up on Mark Williams. One former world champion finding difficulty there. Another former world champion toiling here. Now the blue and black are blocking Steadman's direct path to the red, but of course he can pot it off the cushion. Should do.
One. Six. Seven.
That was well cued.
Twelve.
Over on table 4, Liang Wenbo is back on level terms with Ken Doherty at 2-2. The question here, can Craig Steadman get back onto level terms with John Higgins? You wouldn't have thought it at 3-1, you wouldn't have thought it at times during frame 5.
Eighteen.
When he hit the blue, Steadman thought he might have left the cue ball short for the red he wanted to target, and he has. This one is definitely missable. Not his favourite pocket, that.
Quick statement. 18.
No immediate damage done, but only 18 from another good chance. Well, it never seemed as though the plant was going to be on, but the safety shot was played extremely well. As I think was that. Just a question of whether Steadman can chip in the red that's in the middle of the line of 3, closest towards the top cushion. Is there a gap there between yellow and blue? I think there is. Well, he could have potted that, grossly overcut it, as he's done with a number of pots in this match, and again Higgins. Can he pounce this time?
1. Four.
Given what's gone before, you can't have any great confidence in him, you know. And again, out of position, not far enough for the blue. If he takes on the blue, that means a mid-range red coming up. Pressure attached. And stretching awkwardly as well. Oh, now that was absolutely sweet. Well done, John Higgins. Moves 12 points in front.
17.
He will need the red close to the top cushion.
18. $24. $25.
Useful lead this, especially where the brown is. But Higgins will want to finish it off right here. And he's not going to do so.
32.
Mind you, every chance Steadman's going to be in a lot of trouble after this.
John Higgins, 32.
Could have been worse. Higgins retains the safety advantage, but he's not been left a red, or the red. And he's not laid the snooker. With a wall of colours, yellow, blue, pink and black, down the middle of the table, that was quite a big target to get behind. Got away with that one, Higgins. Didn't play the shot like that, I can tell you. Higgins holds a 100-point advantage. He scored 350 to 250, as you saw there on the score graphic, but right now it means an awful lot to just get over the line, regardless of style points. And that will do. That will do very nicely. Smashing escape, and look where the cue ball's going. I think he's returned the compliment, hasn't he? Maybe Higgins can just see a thin sliver of the red. Well, he could see enough of the red to pot it. And that should be frame and match ball. Certainly if the black goes in addition. At the moment, Steadman needs one snooker. Now his challenge is just about to be extinguished.
8.
Well, John Higgins will move forward into the last 16 tomorrow, but I can absolutely guarantee this. He will be looking for a wholesale improvement.
Foul.
Needless enough, playing for the brown. 33 points the difference. That means Steadman needs 2 snookers. It was 3 before. And now John Higgins thinking to himself, why didn't I just pot the green? Why did I have to play that positional shot for brown?
Foul.
Too narrow. Another 4 penalty points. And Steadman now needs 1 snooker. 1 4-point penalty snooker, and then the green, brown, blue, pink and black to force a respotted black. Again, on the button. Now then, is John Higgins snookered by the jaw of the pocket? I think he might be, you know. He's angled. Look at that. Can you believe it? Another swerve shot, this time a lot more difficult than the one just before. Oh, well done. Very good. And I think he snookered Steadman back, although Steadman can't really complain. Given their respective world rankings, given their respective careers, performances this season, all kinds of stuff. This has been a lot lengthier match than we anticipated, and it's been a lot more of a struggle for John Higgins than we thought possible. And it's not quite over yet. Now, just to put you in the picture quickly here, Neil Robertson and Anthony Hamilton haven't begun their third round match yet. I'm just beginning to wonder whether they're going to put them on this table. If they do, might they be covered by the TV cameras? I'm not quite sure. I would suspect not, but I think it's best at the end of this match, which is now nigh, to stick around for a short time, just to see if we have a bonus match here on liveworldsnooker.tv for you.
John Higgins, 3.
Well, Steadman now needs 3 snookers. A virtual impossibility. That's it now. Steadman will concede.
Fine.
Taking into consideration his win in the PTC in Gloucester on Wednesday, John Higgins has now won 10 consecutive matches in PTC tournaments, but the vast majority of them in that run have been hard fought. That was a slog for him. He was well below his best. The marking for him, C-, and yet he still won. By a score of 4-2, Higgins goes into the last 16 tomorrow morning. Now, as I said, Robertson, Hamilton hasn't gone on yet. I'm just beginning to wonder whether it's going to be played on this match table. If it is, will it be covered by the TV cameras? Best to stick around and see what happens. Now the table is being brushed. Now that suggests maybe Robertson and Hamilton are coming back onto it. The balls are still there as well. The cameraman, well, a couple of them are still in the